Hey guys, so today I'm going to go over how I put my mom's initials onto the cap for her pill bottle. My wife decided she wants to get a pill bottle too, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up. I'm going to use my wife's initials on this one, but I'll go through all the steps on how to do it. Model I'm using is right here. I'll put a link to it in the video description. What you can do if you want to make your own and change the dimensions and stuff, you can actually go down here under Summary and click on this link right here, and that'll take you to the customizer where you can adjust how big the bottle is and all the little details that way. It's pretty cool on all the different settings they've got. What I am going to do today is I'm going to use the double knurled lid like this right here. That's just like the one I used with my mom's. That was the easiest to grab hold of. And then of course we're going to use the bottle like this. So I already have the files downloaded, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to Tinkercad, and I'll be right back with you in just a moment. Okay, so now we're over here in Tinkercad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new design. And whenever you create a new design in Tinkercad, it's really kind of weird because they give it the weirdest names you can think of. A bodacious dupe. We're going to change that here in a little bit. That's no big deal. This is a new layout. I'm not familiar with it, so bear with me a little bit as I try to learn it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and import. We're going to choose a file. So what we're going to do, we're not going to worry about the container. We just want to use the lid. So we're just going to click on that, and we're going to open it. Then we're going to import it. Okay, so now it's appeared on our build plate. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over here. I am going to select text, and I want B for Beth. I want her middle initial P. And then we need an S for Shaw. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to take and just kind of, not real particular, but I just want to make sure it's got the right gap between the letters, which looks like they're pretty uniform right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those pieces there, and then I'm going to go up here to align, and then I'm going to click this bottom one so that it makes the bottom edge of all the letters match up. So now they're all pretty much matched. So I'm going to highlight it again. I'm going to group them. I'm going to turn them into a whole. And then I'm going to click on one more time. I'm going to go over here to this corner. I'm going to push down on the shift, the left mouse button, and then I'm going to shrink it down a little bit so it'll fit on the cap. And that's going to be about right for width, I believe. Then we want to take this up here. We want to, nope, sorry, wrong way. Let me put it back. A good thing too is if you mess up like that, all you have to do is go up here and hit this, and it just undoes it. But what I want to do, I do the right click and then move the build plane up. Okay, so we're going to go 180 degrees. There we go, right there. Let go of it. Okay, so now we have our letters upside down. And the reason why we want it that way is because we're printing the lid upside down, and that way the letters will be in the right position. Now, as you see, if I bring it over here right now, you can see the letters through the lid. That means they're too tall. So what I want to do now is I want to bring the build plate down a little bit. I want to take this center square, take it, and see how whenever I click it, how it says 2.74. That's the height of the letters. I want to bring that down probably to a 2. And we can just verify it really quick here by moving back up bring the lid over it. See, the letters are still visible, just barely, but that means that they're just a hair too tall. So what I want to do now, I can take a ruler, drop it anywhere on the plate, click on that, and then see over here how I've got this over here. Just highlight that and turn it into a 1.5 millimeter. Enter. Just click off to the side, and let's bring the build plate back over here, and then bring the. Now see when I bring it over there, how you no longer see the letters? That means that it's not going to put a hole all the way through the lid. So let's go ahead and click that, get rid of that. I'm going to highlight that whole setup, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to align it. I'm going to align center that way, and that should put my letters right in the middle of the cap. And once again, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to group it. Now, this is what happens whenever I do that. If I take hold of this right here, let me move the build plane a little bit so I can move it. See the letters? And they're in the right orientation, so it's not like a mirror view or anything. So that's going to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it back over here to 0. Let go of it. I always like to just kind of put them back in the center if I can. And then what we're going to do, I don't like having something like that. Let's go and let's see if I can just click that and change it. Oh yeah, I can just change the name there. Good. So we're just going to call it Beth's bottle cap. Good enough. Okay, so now let's figure out how to download this. This is completely different. So I'm going to go export STL. Okay, it says I downloaded it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into Cura, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we're inside Cura. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to load. And I'm going to take the first model that you put on there is the model, what the name of the file is going to be on the SD card. So I'm going to highlight Beth's bottle cap, open that first, and then I'm going to open up the container, and that should put it right beside it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just move this over here to the side a little bit, move the bottle cap next to it this way. That way when I do it on camera it looks a little bit different, a little bit nicer. Because whenever the camera is shooting it, it's going to be from this angle right here. Now, the thing is with my printer, it always wants to print closer to the left. So I always try to take and move my models over to the right about between 5 and 10 millimeters. So each square on this build plate is 10 millimeters. So as long as I have it a little bit further over this way, about one square, that's going to make it pretty much centered on my build plate. So over here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 before I come up to that. Over here I've got 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be good enough for me. It's not that big of a deal. If it's a bigger model, that's when it gets a little bit more touchy on doing that. So I might as well go ahead and go over my Cura settings while I'm here. I do use Cura 15.04.6. I do have the newer version, but the newer version I'm having some problems with getting things centered quite right on the bed. It wants to push everything completely off the bed, and that's not working out for me. So I'm still using this version right now. It's working great. I printed layer height is 0.1. I also go 0.15 right in between the two. Shell thickness 1.2. You can print lower if you want to, not have it as thick, but I like a thicker model. I do have retraction set up. It doesn't matter as much on this model, but on others it helps out a lot. Minimum travel is 1.5 millimeters. Enable combing. Minimal extrusion before retracting. Actually, that should be 0.2. I am using a different computer. I tried to transfer all my settings over to this one, and just a couple of them I didn't set up yet. Z-hop I have set at 1 millimeter so that whenever it's printing, it will move up 1 millimeter when it's moving across the part and then move back. And then top bottom thickness I have set at 1.2. Fill density 20%. Print speed 50. That's going to be the fastest printing speed. I have the printing temperature set at 195. I'm planning on using dark blue Hatchbox PLA with this. If I remember right, it prints between 190 and 195. I'll fine tune it on the printer itself when I get over there. Bed temperature 70. Support type I have it turned off. Platform adhesion I don't usually use it, so I have that turned off. The machine's going to be a 1.75 millimeter machine, 100% flow with a 0.4 nozzle height, 0.4 nozzle. As far as the advanced settings, we have the speed for retraction is set at 40. I have the distance at 4.8, and that's been working pretty good for me. Initial layer thickness is 0.3 millimeters. That way it gives you a nice thick line. That way if your print bed's a little bit uneven, it makes up the difference. Initial layer line width 115%. That gives it a little bit thicker line so it adheres better. I don't mess with the rest of those there. Speed, I have it set for the fast traveling speed to be 70. You can set it up higher if you want, but I'd rather print a little bit slower and just have a nicer looking print. It doesn't have as much jerkiness to it if you set it down a little bit. Bottom layer speed, the slower the better, that way it really sticks to the print bed, so I have it set for 20. Infill speed, if you see the zeros, that means it defaults back to the 50, which is the fastest print speed. So that's going to be 50. Top bottom speed, it's set at 0, so it's going to default back to 50. Outer shell speed I have set for 30, and inner shell speed goes back to the default. Cooling, I have it set for 20 seconds between layers. Let's say if you were doing the spiral vase mode and it's printing around, it would make it slow down to the point where you would be 20 seconds before you got back to the start point. The great thing about the MeCreator2 is it does have active cooling, so it's all controlled by the software. So I do have it all set up. 0.6 layer height is when the fan will kick on at 100%. And then plugins I've never messed with. I've never messed with the G code. I'll show you my machine settings. Let's see here. It's going to be 160 by 160 by 160. It's got a heated bed, one extruder. It's square. The G code flavor is riprap, marlin spreader, and then all the rest of this is turned off, and I'd never mess with this part over here. And then let's go to the expert and I'll show you my settings over there. So over here I have the retraction settings, which we went over that. Skirt, it's set for we'll make 3 passes around the print before it actually starts to print, so it primes the nozzle really good. Start distance, I have where it makes the skirt 3 millimeters away from the model itself. Minimal length I have set for 200. Sometimes I go 300, but that's where you can make sure that it's printing really good. It's got enough plastic coming out. Anyway, this is my cooling. The cooling is 0.6 for the layer height whenever the fan kicks on at 100%. Infill, I've never messed with that. Support, I do have the supports lined up at the same time, but I'm not using it on this model. But 60 degrees overhang before it'll print support. The filament 15%. Distance 0.7 from Z, from X and Y. On Z I have it set at 0.25 or 2.5. That way it breaks away a little bit easier. And then the rest of this I've really never messed with. Okay, and what I like about Cura 15.04.6 compared to the new Cura is it still, if you go over here to File and go to Preferences, you can put in the cost of your filament. Like most generally, between shipping and everything else, I've been paying about $25 a roll for a 1 kilogram roll. So you put that figure in there, and then what it'll do is it will calculate, you know, how many meters it's going to use, about approximately how much it's going to weigh. So it'll figure out, okay, this part right here is going to cost 45 cents to print in plastic. So that's pretty cool. It kind of gives you an idea of what it's costing. Anyway, that's going to do it for that. I'm going to go ahead and save this over to the SD card. I'll take it over to the printer. I will start the time lapse, and I will see you at the end of the time lapse. Okay, so that took 4 hours and 17 minutes. And looks like everything printed good. Put the knurled lid there, and as you can see, there are her initials. Turned out good. And screws on. That's what we're wanting. Okay, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. I sure appreciate it. You can do that by clicking on the link over here. And if you'd like to help out the channel, please check out my Patreon page. You can find the link to that right over here. And if you'd like to take and watch one of my other videos, please give these a shot. I hope you love them. Yeah, I think you'll like them. Have a great day and take care. Bye.